everyone. My name is Richard Keck, and this is All Things Fantasy Football. And today we're going to talk about the 12 Geniuses 2 Idiots League. This is a Dynasty Fantasy Football League. We are entering year 4. I believe it's year 4 for this league, which will be our third rookie draft. And today we're going to do a 2-round mock rookie draft. I've already done a couple of these for the other leagues. A lot of you guys are members in multiple leagues. A little bit about the team and the league itself. It is a dynasty league. Like I said, this is a full point PPR, single quarterback. It is not a super flex. It is not a tight end premium. All the players were initially auctioned off. So they all have auction values. They increase 10% every year. Rookies drafted have a 5-year tier where they get their salaries increased to a certain level, and then as long as they remain on an active roster, they finish out their rookie contract, and then they go up 10% from there. If they're cut at any time during that time, they get auctioned off every year in the free agent portion of our draft. Excuse me. So we're going to start right in with our rookie draft, and the picks were based on order of finish, but they are also tradable. So a lot of these guys have different positions than where they finished last season. Columbus has the 1-1 pick, and Columbus is one of the super contenders every year. Currently holds the best roster in the league, and then additionally has 4 picks in the first round this year, including 1, 3, and 5. Along with pick 13. So the rich are going to get richer, and the rest of us are going to try to catch up and try to stay as close to him as we can. Hopefully he doesn't run off 5 or 6 on us before we can get some wins in there on him. But Mike has done a fantastic job in creating this team, and definitely a little bit of jealousy there. This is a very, very good team, and you'll hear as we go through this. Starting off at 1-1, pretty much the easy pick. Regardless, team is stacked, so you're going to take the best player available. That is Najee Harris out of Alabama. Najee Harris, 6'1", 230 pounds, big bruise and running back, and clearly right now is the #1 pick. Anything else is just overthinking, so there's no point in getting anything other than that. Columbus already has Jonathan Taylor, Antonio Gibson, Nick Chubb. Now they get Najee Harris to add to the stable. So easy pick for Columbus at this point. Aliquippa is up next at the 1-2. Aliquippa has some glaring holes. There's lots of players on his roster. He's definitely going to have to trim that down here prior to the, making cap and all that stuff. But there's a lot to cut. So getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire was huge for Aliquippa last year. Now they get to add another good running back, the 1B to Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Clemson running back, 5'10", 215 pounds. Going 1-2 in most drafts is that combination. Aliquippa had a down year last year, has other needs as well, but you're not gonna turn away at this point in the draft from the second best player on the board for this format. So 1-2, Travis Etienne to Aliquippa. Columbus back on the board. In the other 2 drafts, I had running backs going 1, 2, 3, and it's definitely a possibility here for Columbus. But now once you've gotten the best running back at Najee Harris, you get that 1-3. Might as well take the best wide receiver. So I have Columbus switching ship and going wide receiver at this spot, taking Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase out of LSU, wide receiver, 6 foot 201. And he'll join the rest of the stable of A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, and Michael Thomas, who has that combination of talent on one team. If you get 2 of those guys, you're lucky. So now you get Jamar Chase to groom to take their spot. So very easy choice for me if I'm Columbus at this spot, taking the best back, best receiver. So that leaves them, just getting deeper, getting richer. The 1-4 pick is Sag Nasty, and Sag Nasty, obviously gets a nice little gift at the 1-4 spot because he gets that third running back that I have in the upper tier, and that's Javonte Williams, North Carolina running back, 5'10", 212. the running back position is kind of thin for Sagnasty at this. We're looking at Kenyon Drake, Justin Jackson, Kerryon Johnson, nothing, Raheem Moser, nothing that just blows you away. So getting Javonte Williams to fall to you when Columbus takes that top receiver is a nice gift here for Sagnasty for Cabot and his Sagnasty Pit Bulls. So 1-4, I got Javonte Williams going to them. Columbus back on the board. Shocking. You get the best running back, you get their best receiver. At this point, the top 3 backs are gone. So now you're going receiver again. This is an easy pick too. Devontae Smith to me is the second best receiver off the board. Another Alabama guy. You already got Najee Harris. They had Devontae Smith, wide receiver, 6'1", 170. You get the second best wide receiver in the draft, and when you just got the first best wide receiver. So we're going to have a tough time keeping up with the Columbus Crush in the next few years. So the rest of us just got to try to hope that he has some injuries or stumbles along the way or something. Otherwise, he's going to run off quite a few. The 1-6 pick goes to the Fowler Eagles. Ken Bond's team. I got him taking yet another Alabama player, Jalen Waddle, 5'10", 175. There are some other good receivers at this position that he could take, maybe a Rashad Bateman or Rondell Moore. But I like to mix it up compared to the other drafts. So any one of those 3 that you like, I have Fowler taking Jalen Waddle at this spot. St. John's hits the 1-7 spot. And again, the running backs just don't blow you away at this point in the draft. So you're still grabbing receivers at this spot. I have St. John's taking Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota, 6 foot, 190. Nice size target. All us Big Ten fans saw him play, blew us away, along with Rondell Moore, who I have going off the board here shortly. Both those guys saw a lot of action for us watching the games this past couple years. Rashad Bateman, St. John's, getting that 1-7 pick. Gaylord up next at the 1-8 spot. And Gaylord Gophers, Tony Granger's team, definitely is in need of a running back. He's got Melvin Gordon, David Montgomery, but he's loaded at wide receiver. Got lots of wide receivers there. So I have him taking the 4th best running back off the board in Kenneth Gainwell, potentially an Austin Eckler type running back. He's not one of the top 3 that you want to get, but he's a nice, I think he's in tier 2 by himself, because the next group is maybe a bunch of dart throws, but I like Kenneth Gainwell here at the 1-8 spot going to Gaylord. Chesning has 1-9, and Chesning did an awesome job in the draft last year. Doesn't have as many picks this year, but I mean, still a nice 1-9. You're going to get that big name wide receiver that's going to fall right down to you in the draft. As mentioned earlier, Rondell Moore out of Purdue, and Rondell Moore is 5'7", 180, a little on the small side, but an unbelievable talent, very athletic, and he can add to the stable of wide receivers for Chesning, who got T. Higgins and Justin Jefferson and Michael Pittman last year. Those guys are all nice big hits for Chesning last year. Did an amazing job in the draft. Gets Rondell Moore to add to that. They're a little better off at running back, so going receiver here makes a lot of sense. Tight ends, they've got like 2 really good tight ends, 3 if you want to throw in Jared Cook. They have Noah Fant and Travis Kelce, the premier tight end. So no need to go tight end right now. Still trying to add to that wide receiver core and build up some depth there. So Rondell Moore to Chesney at 1-9. Hopewell is on the board at 1-10, and Hopewell definitely has a glaring need. Sitting at quarterback for them is Ryan Fitzpatrick, Deshaun Watson, and Jameis Winston. Fitzpatrick may get the start. Who knows how long he'll start? Past seasons he'll play and then not play, and then he'll play and not play. Jameis Winston, you don't know if he's going to be the guy or Taysom Hill. And Deshaun Watson, you don't even know if he's going to be on a field this year at all. So definitely you can let Fitzpatrick go, or you can let Jameis Winston go, or something along that line. It's time to grab the best quarterback in the draft, and that's Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, Clemson, 6'6", 215. Hopewell's got to have that player. Maybe even let Fitzpatrick and Winston go and grab a couple of these quarterbacks and hope that, grab the ones that are starting. Because if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a team. So I've struggled in this league at the quarterback position and the last 2 years, and it is definitely what's hampered me from winning the title. So I got Trevor Lawrence to Hopewell at the 110. Aliquippa is up next at the 111 spot. Again, already adding Travis Etienne to their roster. And Aliquippa is in a nice rebuild. Has lots of holes, but at this point in the draft, the best player on the board isn't a running back, isn't a receiver, it's not a quarterback, it's a tight end. Aliquippa could go quarterback here as they have Sam Darnold, Roethlisberger, and Haskins. They could grab that next quarterback, either a Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, but I have them taking Kyle Pitts here. Tight ends are brutal on this roster, and now's the time to get the guy in the stable. And Kyle Pitts is huge, 6'6", 245 out of Florida. Probably the best athlete left at this point in the draft. While tight ends normally are going to slide in this draft because it's not a tight end premium, I feel like this is a nice spot, nice fit for this team. You could still get your quarterback in round 2. So I have Aliquippa taking Kyle Pitts at the 111 spot. Provo is up on the board next. Provo has been all over the place as far as trades. 1 minute he's got one draft pick, 1 minute he has the next. So at the moment, Provo has the 112 draft pick. And I have them taking the first of the second tier of wide receivers, Terrence Marshall. Terrence Marshall is a LSU receiver, 6'3", 205, big guy. Reminds me of like Michael Pittman from last year. That's the kind of receivers I like to draft, the big body end zone targets. So I have him taking them. He's got some nice wide receivers already, but nothing that'll blow your socks off. But he does have DJ Chark. I've got up on my board up here, right up there, a nice autographed jersey, and Odell Beckham. So he's, it's time to build the depth on this roster and getting a guy like Terrence Marshall, especially if he lives in a place where they like a nice quarterback that likes to throw it into the end zone. Terrence Marshall would be a nice pickup at this point at 112. Columbus for their 4th pick in the draft. They've already added Najee Harris at the 1-1. They've added Jamar Chase at the 1-3 and Devonta Smith at the 1-5. Amazing draft so far. I mean, I don't know how you beat that draft. I don't think you can unless you get the 1, 2, 3 or something. But I have them up at 113. Still, they've gotten a couple wide receivers, got a running back. So I have him taking one more running back. And the first of the third tier guys, the next group of 3 or 4 running backs that come off the board are all guys that definitely are probably going to be committee guys, which is fine. Most players in the NFL for running backs play on a committee. You don't have a lot of Saquon Barkleys, so not a lot of one trick ponies, not a lot of Dalvin Cooks. So it's okay to have a guy that's going to be a timeshare. So I haven't taken Jamar Jefferson out of Oregon State, 5'10", 211. A lot of Oregon State games have been on late at night, so I've seen a lot of their games, and I've thought about, hey, I'm going to draft that guy at one point. And so a couple of the other leagues I have him fall into the second round, but that was just depending on needs, how many quarterbacks have to be drafted. There's not a lot of teams in this league that need a quarterback. So some of these other guys that I had in the second round in the other drafts you might have listened to, they move up a little bit based on need. And so I have Columbus taking Jamar Jefferson at 113. Kansas City, the champions of the league, comes in, takes over for our dearly departed criminal that left our league, and took over midseason, took the team to the title game. So congratulations to you. And Nate, good job. I got you taking Tylan Wallace, wide receiver at Oklahoma State, 5'11", 194. In there, that second, that tier 2 group of wide receivers, I have like 3 or 4 guys in there. So nice receiver, nice talent, nice pickup at 114. The draft this year is not as good and not as talented as last year's, but I still feel there's about 14 to 18 guys that are all going to give you really good fantasy talent, even as soon as right away, as soon as this year. And Tylan Wallace is definitely a potential candidate for that. Could get draft day 1 draft capital, maybe a day 2 guy more than likely though. Next guy off the board is one of my favorite guys. I've said this in the other leagues. Got Kansas City up again, taking yet another receiver. I've got him taking Elijah Moore, Mississippi wide receiver, 5'9", 181. So you had Elijah Moore, you had Tylan Wallace. You only had Corey Davis, Michael Gallup, Tyreek Hill. So now you're starting to add some depth. And, this team could be in contention for a couple more years. Going to need depth if you want to compete with Columbus, because definitely one of the best rosters in the league. So Elijah Moore at the 2-1 spot, going to Kansas City. Columbus is back on the board yet again. So since they took that shot on the running back in the first round near the end of Jamar Jefferson, I can see him maybe adding a couple of those tier 3 running backs just to see which ones hit, which ones don't. Throw a couple darts. He's got a ton of picks. I think he has 3 more picks in this second round even. So he has a ton of picks. So take some stabs and see what ones hit. And that's what he did a couple years ago, and he nailed it. And that's why he's got the best roster in the league. I have Columbus taking Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard had a down year last year. Didn't have the greatest season, but 2 years ago he was lights out. So with COVID and everything, you don't know what everybody had going on in their life. He very well could have just had a down year, just like everybody else had a down year. So if we get the Chuba Hubbard of 2 years ago, I mean, this is a steal at the 2-2 spot. He was going to be a top 5, top 6 dynasty player pick, and now he's sliding to the second round. So definitely could be a steal here at the 2-2 spot for Columbus. Provo's up next for their second pick of the draft, having added Terrence Marshall, nice wide receiver pick in round 1 at the 12th spot. They're up now at the 2-3 spot. Team that definitely needs help at all positions. Another running back that I like, that I think could get some nice split time as a committee backfield. We got Michael Carter out of North Carolina. Michael Carter obviously shared time with Javonte Williams at North Carolina, so we know that he can share no matter where he goes. Nice spot for Provo to get a running back. This team definitely needs some help all over the place. He made some poor trades early, and now is trying to rebound, made a couple of good trades, and just needs to start putting together a nice good roster, and needs some players to do that with. So good player spotted here at 2-3 for Provo. Miami is on the board for the first time in the draft, having no first round pick this year. Traded a couple of years ago to get Aaron Rodgers to make a title run, finished 3rd. So it wasn't a bad trade overall, but like I said, the quarterback position has been brutal for me at this spot. I have Cam Newton, I have Tua, I have Carson Wentz. I have no problem letting Cam Newton go if I can get it the quarterback I want. At this point, there's like 2 or 3. We're looking at Trey Lance, Justin Fields, or Zach Wilson, with Trevor Lawrence off the board. So whoever falls here, if the board goes different. Right now, I'm leaning towards Justin Fields, but I mean, I can be easy talking to Trey Lance if he goes to San Francisco. Depends on where Justin Fields goes. But right now I have Miami taking Justin Fields out of Ohio State. The only thing that scares you about Justin Fields is that you can't name an Ohio State quarterback that's been any good. They're just not that good. They've all been big hype and no production. So, but this one's really good. He looks pretty special, but you never know until they get on the field. So we'll see where they land and see what happens, and we'll find that out on Thursday. But for right now, 2-4 Miami, Justin Fields. Hopewell, having already taken Trevor Lawrence at the 110, is up at the 2-5 spot. And like I said, there's a couple of them quarterbacks you could let go real easy. I haven't taken another one right here. That's the spot that he needs the most. Maybe he goes wide receiver here and only takes the 1. But for the time being, I haven't taken the second quarterback in this rookie draft, taking Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson out of BYU, 6'2", 214. Again, when you're in need, you gotta fill that position, and the Hopewell's definitely got to have a quarterback, at least one. Maybe he goes receiver, like I said here, but for the time being, I have him at 2-5, taking Zach Wilson. Chesning is on the board since taking Rondell Moore in the first round at a 1-9. He's up with his second pick, and another receiver that might be just as good as Rondell Moore is Amon-Ra St. Brown, USC, 5'11", 97. Um, he's going up all the draft boards in a hurry. If you're watching all the mocks, he's climbing up fast. If he gets draft one, day one draft capital, he won't be here at the spot at the 2-6. I think I even had him going higher in the other two drafts. So this one I did a while ago, and maybe he's moved up since then. But 2-6, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chesney, be a steal if you got him there. Miami is back on the board. Like I said before, I like the big body wide receivers. I got myself taking Seth Williams, Auburn, 6'3", 211. I like the big end zone targets. Big guys, throw it up, let them go get it. We'll see where he lands. Again, if you get a quarterback that likes to throw, if he goes to Green Bay, no way he's going to be here. He'll climb the board. So see where he goes. Seth Williams going to Miami at 2-7. St. John's on the board at the 2-8 spot. I have him taking wide receiver, Kadarius Toney out of Florida, wide receiver, 6 foot, 193. And St. John's is basically trying to fill some holes. And he struggled a little bit in this league, has some decent wide receivers. Got Tyler Boyd, he's got Judy, he's got Devontae Parker, but definitely can add a few more. This is a full point PPR, so the receivers definitely get that little boost over some of these running backs in this league. So Kadarius Toney at 2-8 to St. John's. Kansas City back on the board again for the second time this round. I haven't taken yet another receiver for that exact reason, that the receivers get that little boost. I haven't taken UNC wide receiver Denami Brown, 6'1", 189, big wide receiver, good size, good build. You start adding these wide receivers, and they start getting that full point PPR, where the other two leagues that we did are a half point. So you get that little boost compared to in this league that you don't get in the other two leagues. Columbus is back on the board for 3 straight picks in the second round here at 210, 211, and 212. They've added a couple wide receivers of those tier 3 running backs already. I haven't taken a couple more, adding a couple more and then a receiver on top of that. So if you get all those dart throw running backs, and even just one of them hits and turns into a legitimate fantasy producer, then these picks aren't wasted. If you only have one of them and you miss, then it's kind of a wasted pick. But you definitely want to try to get that guy so nobody else gets that guy. So I haven't taken Trey Sermon out of Ohio State, Kylan Hill out of Mississippi State, the next 2 picks. Trey Sermon, as you know, is transfer to Ohio State. Didn't even have that great a year at Ohio State this year. But if you watch the playoffs, he was unbelievable. So which Trey Sermon are you going to get? Which one do teams think that they can get? Do you think you can get the guy that turned it on in the playoffs? Maybe, again, you blame it on COVID that he had the down year, and that the guy you saw in the playoffs when the game was on the line is what you're going to get. So, definitely at this point at the 210 spot, he's worth taking a dart throw on. The 211, like I said, Kylan Hill, 5'10", 214, Mississippi State running back. Another one of those guys, had not the greatest of seasons, but, a lot of guys in this league and in college football this year had down years. Some of them didn't play very many games because games were canceled. Ohio State played 6 games. So, chalk a lot up to COVID and just take some dart throws on these guys and just see what ones hit. At the 212 spot, I do have Columbus switching gears and going with a wide receiver, FSU receiver, 6'2", another big guy, 207, Tamorrion Terry. Again, get that end zone target. If you look at all the players Columbus has added, get a bunch of these, dart throw running backs in the late second round, a lot of receivers. He's just building and building and building. And we add a taxi squad this year, so some of these guys can go and just sit on the taxi squad. He's in a really, really good spot at this point. So getting those 3 picks at 210, 211, 212, just extra guys, extra bodies that you can throw on that taxi squad and see what happens with them. 213 spot, I have Aliquippa taking the last of the big 4 big 4 quarterbacks. If you don't count Mac Jones, I'm not ready to count Mac Jones in as the top upper quarterback areas. Even if he goes to San Francisco at 3, I think Trey Lance is the guy that the Niners should take at the 3 spot. So I have Aliquippa taking Trey Lance at the 213 spot, which could be an absolute steal. Sam Darnold, Dwayne Haskins, Ben Roethlisberger, their quarterbacks on roster, easily can cut bait with Dwayne Haskins. He's clearly, doesn't have it. Or you can cut bait with Ben Roethlisberger and keep Dwayne Haskins and hope that he gets it. Keep Sam Darnold and then add the young one. It all depends on what you feel like you're going to get out of Ben and how long you're going to get it for. So if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a team. So Sam Darnold, I think, might be a good have a decent year this year. He has a lot more weapons than he had in the Jets, and everybody that leaves the Jets does better the next year. So maybe cut bait with Roethlisberger, hold on to Haskins. But either way, Trey Lance going to Aliquippa at the 213 spot. Rounding out the draft, the 2-round mock draft, we have Coldwater with their first and only pick. And this is a guy I like to put at the last pick on each one of these ones I've done. That's Ramondre Stevenson out of Oklahoma, 6 foot, 230. A bowling ball. Get a guy that's in there going to share some time with someone else, vulture touchdowns, and legitimate fantasy starter if you can get in there and score 8-9 touchdowns in a year, even if you don't pile up the yards. So I've got Ramondre Stevenson going to Coldwater with their only pick in the first 2 rounds. So we're going to recap. I normally would do a recap in between each round, but since I didn't do that, we'll recap both rounds at this point. Columbus taking Najee Harris at the 1-1 in the first round. The 1-2 going to Aliquippa is Travis Etienne. The 1-3, Columbus back on the board getting Jamar Chase. Sagnasty gets a nice player to fall, Javonte Williams at the 1-4. Columbus back on the board. Another top receiver, 1-5, goes Devontae Smith to Columbus for their third pick in the top 5. Fowler takes Jalen Waddle at 1-6. St. John's takes Rashad Bateman. Gaylord takes the 4th running back off the board, Kenneth Gainwell out of Memphis. Rondell Moore, Purdue wide receiver, goes to Chesney at 1-9. Hopewell takes Trevor Lawrence at 1-10. Aliquippa grabs their second player of the first round, Kyle Pitts, Florida tight end, at 1-11. Provo takes Terrence Marshall, LSU receiver. Columbus, for their 4th pick in the first round at the 113 spot, takes running back Jamar Jefferson out of Oregon State. Kylan Wallace rounds out the first round to Kansas City at 114. Recap the second round. Got Kansas City starting off with Elijah Moore, one of my favorite players in the second round. Columbus takes Chuba Hubbard, followed by Provo with Michael Carter out of North Carolina. Miami gets their first pick of the draft at Justin Fields at the 2-4. And Hopewell grabs their second quarterback of the draft in Zach Wilson at the 2-5. Amon-Ra St. Brown, USC receiver, to Chesney at 2-6, followed by Seth Williams, Auburn wide receiver, at the 2-7 spot going to Miami. St. John's grabs Kadarius Toney at 2-8, Denami Brown 2-9 to Kansas City. And then Columbus hits a trio of picks in getting Trey Sermon, Kylan Hill, and Tamorian Terry. Aliquippa grabs a quarterback at 213, Trey Lance, and Coldwater grabs their only pick of the draft, Ramondre Stevenson at the 214 spot. Again, thanks everyone for listening to our first podcast for the 12 Geniuses 2 Idiots League. If you don't know who the idiots are, then you probably should grab a mirror. If you like the video, like, share, comment, and please follow so that we can get the other guys in the league so they can all hear this. I will post this to our messenger chat. If you're not in there, I'll try to get it to you. I'll forward you the link. I'm definitely going to do other videos, and I want to get other people involved in these videos. So don't be surprised if I ask you to do a Zoom meeting with me and do a nice show like this for rankings. I want to do stuff for trade analyzations and maybe just in general on how to do a rebuild, and we can get Mike in, tell us about his team and the things he did and his strategies. I also want to do a video on the taxi squad, as this is the first year for the taxi squad. I want to make sure everybody knows what they're doing and how to do that stuff. And, maybe videos like making cap and how to best go about doing that, because it's still still a touchy area for some people that don't really quite get it until until I kind of walk them through it. So definitely other videos are going to follow. So again, like, share, comment, and follow, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.